Hey guys, it's Dr. Mona and I'm really excited about this video today. I'm actually joined by Karen. She is head of esthetician, head of ingredients at Beauty by Design. So she's going to walk you through how this company works, all of their amazing products. I've personally been using their products and loving them. And then at the end of the video, we're also going to give you a little bonus recipe, breakfast for beautiful skin. It's really simple. You can make this at home and every single ingredient is going to complement amazing skincare. Beauty by Design is a full-fledged skincare company. They have products, they have estheticians you work with. She's actually the head of esthetician and the head of ingredients, right?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you explain a little bit about Beauty by Design and give them a little background?
Well, we created Beauty by Design because in the world of skincare, people have so many choices, too many choices, and they're very confused for the most part. And with all the different guessing that they're doing, they're oftentimes buying the wrong products for their skin and they're not seeing the results they want. So we created a way for a licensed esthetician to consult with you directly on your phone through text. You can send them all your information, take a selfie, and we will have a relationship long-term to get you to your skincare goals.
So this is really cool, especially if you maybe live in an area where you don't have an esthetician or a spa or any kind of med spa where you trust, or maybe it's really far away from you. It can also get a little bit pricey. I know getting facials monthly or every couple months, it can get expensive. And then sometimes you can walk into a store and it's so confusing because especially now, skincare is kind of booming. So there is so much out there. I actually even get overwhelmed sometimes, and I feel like I'm pretty knowledgeable in the space, so I can understand someone who's new to it getting a little confused. I found out about Beauty by Design and I went through the whole process and I was matched with an esthetician. So you go online and you kind of fill out a questionnaire, you send in a selfie. Yeah. So when you guys get these pictures in, are you just examining like everything, their skin texture, like their concerns, like how do you kind of go about figuring out what's the right thing for them?
Well, it's wonderful that you're first filling out your survey full of questions. So we know a lot about your lifestyle, about what issues are that you want to focus on. Then you do take the selfie. We have the ability to then zone in on different areas of the skin. So if you're concerned about firmness, we will want to be looking at the areas that tend to break down the fur at the beginning and so forth. If you're concerned about the eye area, we can focus on the eye area. We can see where there needs to be microcirculation or help with plumping and smoothing. It's very good to help also identify things that maybe you didn't see in your skin.
That's true, right? Maybe someone could say that, maybe I'd be like, I have really dry skin. Then you could look and be like, well, she's also getting a little bit of hyperpigmentation. And that's something that we should address.
Yes,
right?
And some people aren't even using their SPF. So, of course, we can ask them a lot of questions over text. And this relationship is built over time. So as your skin changes, with the weather changes, with your age, if you travel, just the idea that you could, at a moment's notice, text your esthetician and tell her of a concern you're having because of a weather change or a circumstance in your life. She can help direct you to what to do in your protocol or what to do with an additional performance ingredient with a new product.
Right. So that kind of brings me to a point. A lot of times with different companies or brands, like there's maybe 2 or 3 or even 5 variations, but you guys have so many different ingredients and products. Like how many options are there?
We're at nearly 100 now, but
so good.
We really focus on the performance ingredients. So there are many different kinds of formulas in different types of products. Your core regimen will always be a great cleanser that's really well balanced for your skin concerns. Of course, a treatment serum, which will address the top concerns.
Yep.
And then a hydration product. So depending on your skin needs, we're going to want to add performance ingredients to, the cleanse for somebody who has the acneic skin, who really needs a lot of clarifying of their pores. Somebody who is very dehydrated is really going to be focused on a lot of water binding ingredients to hold on to their water moisture and give them an extra plumping reservoir of moisture.
Right. So, when it comes to skincare, especially if you're starting out, really the 3 things that I'd say everyone should have is like the cleanse, the serum, and the moisturizer. And the serum, the particle size, the molecule size is smaller, so we want it to get into your skin cells. And that's why it tends to be a little pricier, but a little bit goes a long way.
Yes.
You only need a few drops in it. It goes longer than like an actual moisturizer. I think my serums usually last me at least 6 months. Like they last a while.
It depends on, where you're putting it. We do have clients who, if they're aging, they're also aging on their chest. But if you have a younger skin, you're just probably concentrating on your face and your neck.
And then, it's funny when you think of, for example, like molecule size, like all these details, like all the science that goes behind it. With makeup, you want the particle and molecule size to be larger because you don't want it to get into your skin. Whereas with serums, you want it to be smaller. So that all of that is taken into consideration. And then you kind of you need the moisturizer. Even people, a lot of times I see people with oily skin that are afraid of moisturizer. I'm like, you need it just as much because that could be a rebound effect of having dry skin.
And imagine that you have your esthetician there to guide you. So as soon as she looks at your image, looks at your picture, she might even ask for additional pictures, because if you do say that you've got acne or dryness or redness, we might need to see another shot maybe of the affected area and so forth. But texting back and forth. And
you can text them a picture like, I had this breakout here, what do you think, right? And they can respond. That's so cool. You're literally getting like individualized treatment through text message. That's actually really cool. Yeah. And a lot of times if you go into a beauty store and you ask someone, they might, most of the time they're not estheticians. They're just, working at a store, and they might just suggest what they think, or whatever they're reading on the label. It's not really someone who's really trained and knowledgeable.
They can't be.
Or else they probably wouldn't be. They'd be working as an esthetician.
Right. They'd be working as an esthetician. And there are estheticians who really, they love working with their clients directly. They love customizing a program and a protocol for them. And that is why we decided to use licensed estheticians, because they build relationships with their clients.
Right.
They really want to help them.
One thing I've noticed too, so with pharmacy, there are a lot of different pharmacies are compounding, and I've worked in a compounding pharmacy for years, and we would get prescriptions from different dermatologists, and we'd make certain creams. So it's kind of the same as like making it in a lab, but we make certain formulations. The ingredients that you use, like you could have 2 different pharmacies make you like a vitamin C cream, but the fillers that go in, the quality of where they're getting the vitamin C, all that plays such a big role in the product. So one thing I love about Beauty by Design is you guys use very, very high quality ingredients.
We do.
And this really makes a difference. It's almost like if you buy a banana at a gas station versus an organic banana at from a farmer's market. It is very different. Like you might, from the outside, you might think they're both the same thing, but you're going to get way different nutrients. The soil that it's grown in, all of this plays a huge role in the same thing with your skin.
Yes, and we use multiple manufacturers, and several of them actually do wild crafted botanicals. So a lot of the plant extracts are wild crafted, really high concentrations of all of the nutritional elements that you really want in your skincare. So a lot of phytochemicals instead of petrochemicals.
Phytochemicals are what we want, the beautiful plant chemicals.
Yeah.
And everything is plant-based and vegan and cruelty-free.
Yes, we're really into that, of course, for a lot of reasons, but mostly because it's bioavailable to the skin, and your skin really wants that nutrition. It's the largest organ in your whole body, and of course, feed your face and you're going to have a better glow. Your skin will react a lot less than with all the petrochemicals and the harsh ingredients.
So let's talk about some of the most common skincare concerns and kind of walk them through like how it would work and how you'd go about picking ingredients for anyone who writes in or is texting. I feel like acne is a really common one, right?
Yes, we see a lot of acne, and of course not only with young people, but adult acne, people going through stressful times in their life. They also have hormonal acne that happens during different times of our life. So many different types of acne. Some that is also concerned with aging and wrinkles on top of acne. So we have to be very careful about the ingredients that we choose.
And then I feel like, especially with the weather change, maybe dehydrated skin, dry skin.
Yeah.
Like in the fall, I don't know.
Not only with weather, but because honestly, people who have oily skin will try to get rid of their oil, and they sometimes overstrip their skin, which then they're dehydrated on the surface, but they're producing too much oil. Or the traditional person who already has dry skin, and during this time of year, it gets drier. So
that's what, I feel like dehydrated skin, even if you don't think that's your issue, actually could be. So why don't we talk, so if someone, so you go onto the website and, they're like, okay, my biggest concern is acne. And I mean, how would you go about picking, because there's so many different ingredients you could pick, whether it's in the cleanser or the stick, how would you go about that?
Usually, one of the questions out of the several questions you're going to answer before an esthetician comes to you is going to ask you if you have any allergies or sensitivities.
Okay.
And we do want to allow you to either include or exclude certain ingredients for yourself. So that is a place to start. If you don't have any true allergies, we're going to look at how to decongest the pores, how to reduce inflammation. Reducing inflammation is the number one way to help stop the cycle of acne. We do want to kill bacteria, or we want to create a surface that allows your skin to be more resilient and can fight against bacteria buildup, clarifying the pores, of course. But reducing inflammation is the number one way to let your body help heal itself.
And that's honestly true for almost every disease state. I remember learning that in school when we were going through disease states, like inflammation was like either worsen or cause everything. So that's really interesting. So you would tackle acne, a big part of that is with something to calm inflammation or reduce inflammation.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to decongest the pores. We're going to be looking at fruit-based alpha hydroxy acids, glycolic-based on organic sugar cane and so forth. So there is going to be an exfoliation, but we're going to be careful not to overstrip the skin or to cause any kind of redness. There's so many people who are also getting rosacea, which is very much affiliated with acne, but with other kinds of sensitivities involved.
Just like a quick tip in here, I feel like if you are seeing a dermatologist or there's other things, whatever the products that you're using, you don't have to stop everything else. Like, it doesn't mean that sometimes it's only products. There's lifestyle modifications, there's diet, there's drinking water. I know one really common medication, especially for hormonal acne, is spironolactone.
Yes.
I don't know if any of do people tell you other medications they're on?
They do, and we ask.
You do,
because
okay.
if we do have a client who, and this happens often, they might have normal breakouts, but all of a sudden they will come to us and they'll say, what's going on my jawline? I've got some cystic acne here and so forth. And it's obvious to see that that's hormonal. It's likely that they need to go talk to their doctor to get something specific for that type of breakout.
Exactly. Because, topicals obviously can help environmental issues and like what if you're producing too much oil, but if something's really hormonal, you might need a prescription for that. So spironolactone, brand name is aldactone. It's actually used for blood pressure, and they found that the way it's used for blood pressure, it ends up affecting your androgen levels, and they found that ended up lowering acne. So a lot of medication, the way it works is they'll use it for one thing that it's intended for, and then a side effect will help something else, and then we're like, oh wait, now we can actually use it for this too. So that's kind of how spironolactone came about for hormonal acne. But if you are using it, always just make sure you're careful, because it can drop your blood pressure. It can make you a little bit dizzy, so people usually recommend taking it at night. But just the point is, sometimes you need to tackle it from different angles. I feel like it's always good to be authentic, and this can solve everything from one angle, but you might also need to do this. And of course, drinking as much water as you can, eating a plant-based diet. We'll show you a really great recipe at the end of how to, just combat it from every angle.
Yeah, right? The most important thing about how we customize and personalize somebody's skincare routine in their practice would be if they were on any kind of medication, all the more reason why they need to have clean base formulas, stay away from ingredients that are going to cause inflammation, because there are going to be some side effects to any prescription, but it might be necessary.
Okay, so I wanted to show you guys the products that I've been using, because I went through the whole Beauty by Design experience. I had my esthetician, we talked it through. These are the three that I got. I've got this cleanser, the serum, and moisturizer. So when I filled out my questionnaire, I went through the concerns that I had. Basically, I wanted firmness, I wanted brightness. You guys know hyperpigmentation is the death of me. It's something I always struggle with. So I really wanted to make sure I was getting something to brighten my skin. And I also, I told her that I love oils, but sometimes they're too oily.
Yes.
So I love putting on a good oil, on a plane or even before bed, but when it's too oily, it breaks me out. So I thought it was really cool that she picked out this serum, because it's literally the perfect texture. It's like the combination of a serum and an oil mixed in one. It's amazing.
I love this product. In fact, you can kind of show them that you don't need very much of it, because this is olive squalane with vitamin C ester. And vitamin C ester is both a fat and a water-soluble vitamin C, so you're going to get incredible benefits of this. And squalane is from olive, and it's so deeply penetrating, so it's very healing to the
It's from
skin.
olive.
Yes.
That's actually perfect because I hate eating olives, but I'm fine with putting olives on my skin. So at least I'm getting the benefit because I'll never get that from my diet.
The fact that it's got a triple dose of a vitamin C ester means you're going to get a lot of the brightness that you're asking for.
So there you go. That's where the quality comes in because not all vitamin C is created equal.
That's true.
There's different forms of vitamin C, so you're really getting like. And honestly, I put this on and people have been telling me my skin's glowing.
Your skin
it
looks
gives you
beautiful.
it gives me like a little radiance. One thing I noticed about the cleanser that I really liked was that it felt just medicated enough, but not too, like it was gentle enough, but also felt like there was actives in it. Because, you can use a really, really clean, natural, gentle cleanser that's not doing anything for like breakouts or acne, but I felt like this was kind of the perfect combo of that.
Yeah, and this is a wild crafted formula, so all the ingredients are based on phytochemicals and everything was grown in urban farms, so you're going to get really high concentrations of very high value ingredients. What's interesting about this one is the vitamin A along with the glycolic acid are both from plant extracts. So the glycolic acid comes from organic sugarcane and butternut squash, which is really high in vitamin A.
Yep, that orange.
Driving this.
Exactly.
Isn't that nice?
I love that.
Yeah.
Butternut squash, sweet potato, I always post little tips on my Instagram where I'm like eating them for anti-aging because vitamin A, retinol it's a form of vitamin A.
Yes.
And that's where that anti-aging comes from. So whenever I think it's cool to actually get it from the food and put it on your skin, I love that.
Well, I know that Hillary was, she's the one who did
Hillary
your
was my
Skinscription.
Yeah.
And she created what's called a Skinscription for you. And that basically is an email that tells you step by step what she learned about your skin, what she saw in your picture, what maybe you guys discussed on text. And she's trying to explain why she chose the product she chose, what are the key performance ingredients in each one of the products, and why this will make such a difference in the results you're going to get.
And I think it's important too because in anything you're doing with wellness, with skincare, like the more you understand it, the better you're going to get at it. And it's good to know what you're putting on because then you can learn. And next time you can go to any esthetician too and be like, hey, I know this does work for me. I know this doesn't work for me. So it's good to kind of educate yourself and learn what's working.
And I know that since you're using an oil serum, you might think that you don't need a hydration moisturizer, but actually this is a beautiful moisturizer for you because it also has multiple vitamin C's in it. So it's going to continue to give you the brightening, but also stimulating collagen. Just keeps the pores firm and resilient and so forth. But also there's a tripeptide in here, which is wonderful for just protecting your skin from environmental damage. It's a beautiful moisturizer.
The moisturizer is amazing, and a serum, as much as like this one hydrates, a moisturizer just kind of seals everything in. Like I always have to complete with a moisturizer. And honestly, like I said, even if you feel like you have oily skin, I do really think all 3 steps are necessary because there's plenty of moisturizers that are meant for oily skin. And,
absolutely, and this is one of them actually. It's basically for normal combination skin, but what I love most about it is it's going to give you a whole reservoir of water moisture, so you're going to continually still feel soft on the surface but never shiny.
It feels like very light and fresh on your skin. Like I'm trying to describe it.
Like a drink of water for your skin.
It smells lovely.
We call this one the recharging moisturizer. So it's recharging your skin not only with vitamins, amino acids, tripeptides, but a lot of humectants that are going to hold and trap water moisture in your skin.
It's honestly one of the better moisturizers. I really like it. It's really nice.
And all natural scent just coming from the vitamin C, so it smells fresh too.
That's actually a quick point. Like, do you guys add, sometimes with fragrance with certain things, you don't know if it's fragrance added or if it's just coming from the vitamin C. Is it just coming from the food source?
It's only coming from the food source. In fact, a lot of companies need to add fragrance because it has to mask some of the other scents of the chemical ingredients or some of the ingredients that just don't have a pleasant smell. However, we're really good at looking at ingredients that naturally do that, and they might also have a beauty benefit. So if the ingredient doesn't have a beauty benefit, I know, isn't it? But understand that is not in there for the fragrance. It has a beauty benefit, and that is the key to our success here as far as finding you the right products. Is you're going to enjoy them aesthetically, but every ingredient has a beauty benefit.
I love that. I would love everything I do all day to have a beauty benefit. If I could, that would be convenient. Well, speaking of beauty benefit, why don't we show them our beautiful skin breakfast?
Ooh, yes, because beauty from the inside out counts too.
It does. Okay, so we're back with our little recipe for a beautiful breakfast. I'm just going to explain to you what we have, and then for a little change, I'm going to let Karen go through the ingredients and explain how they're good for your skin. And we actually picked breakfast All the ingredients in this breakfast are ingredients that are found in all of your products. So you can find like the watermelon extract, the apple, the cucumber, different ingredients in these. So these were specifically picked to kind of complement all of their products. For food combining, if you've watched my other videos, you know I try to separate fruit with any other food. It doesn't digest well with other food. It can get a little backed up in your stomach. And when you combine fruits with other kinds of food, it actually can lead to acne because it leads to poor digestion. So what I would recommend doing is having some sliced organic apple and watermelon in the morning, right when you wake up. Wait like 20 minutes, that's all you have to do, and then you can go on to your breakfast number 2. And so for that, we've got this avocado toast. It's basically just avocado on some really fresh oat bread with sliced cucumbers and a little bit of grapeseed oil. You can even drizzle the grapeseed oil, like you can take avocado, put it in a little bowl, mash it up with a little bit of grapeseed oil, just mix it around, and then just kind of spread it on as if it was like a bread, like mayonnaise or something. And then we have some white tea. So I'll let you go through and explain all the beauty benefits of this food.
Well, of course, we are using more than 250 different performance ingredients in all of the formulations. We really want to take the different ingredients that have the most beauty benefits. So each one has some specialties that it's famous for. Apples, of course, have famous malic acid. This is an alpha hydroxy acid, and it helps to just unclog the pores. It helps with cellular renewal. It's wonderful for all skin types, but especially good for acneic skin because it's not going to cause any inflammation. In fact, the peels on an apple contain an ingredient called quercetin, and quercetin is very detoxifying for the skin. So we are using a lot of malic acid, we're using other alpha hydroxys. Watermelon, that's another great one for all skin types, but acneic skin loves it. It does help to regulate oil production in the skin when you use watermelon extract in your topical formulations. The redness comes from a lot of flavonoids, and that is the natural pigment that comes. It's a natural antioxidant to fight off free radical damage, and it's very hydrating.
I was going to say the water content for dehydration.
Yes.
We can't forget about that one.
And very cooling. Helps with the microcirculation, so any puffiness can be relieved with watermelon extract.
Love that.
And here in your avocado toast, of course, avocado itself is rich in fatty acids, and the master antioxidant of your entire body is richly found in avocados. That's called glutathione. So the more glutathione you can get into the skin, you'll get more bounce, more resiliency. So we use avocado oils and the grapeseed oil as well. Grapeseed oil is high in vitamin E, very good for brightness and darkness and also microcirculation.
I love vitamin E for moisture too.
It's so good for you. And if you can derive your vitamin E from a source like avocados and grapeseed oil, then it's going to be very bioavailable and your skin will just love it and drink it in. Of course, cucumbers, very famous cucumbers for hydration. It's also an anti-inflammatory. So again, reducing the inflammation makes your skin normalize and just glow internally and so forth, not look red or puffy.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we've got the white tea. I like that you guys use white tea in some of your products.
Yeah, I think that white tea is very special because white tea is the youngest tea, meaning that when it's just first grown, those baby buds, that's the white tea, and it contains mostly the highest level of all of the elements that are antioxidants and that are calming and soothing and naturally antibacterial as well.
And I feel like white tea is something you don't see as much. It's not maybe as common, but it does exist, and it's got a really nice like light taste. I really like it.
Yeah, internally it's beautiful, and then putting it on topically means that you're going to get more bang for your buck with that type of ingredient and so forth. So. And even the oat bread here, oatmeal is one of the best things for people with sensitivities. Very calming and soothing.
I love that. This is just one example of breakfast. You obviously don't have to have this all the time, but really I think a big theme is these are all really beautiful plant-based ingredients, and food is medicine. So what you're putting in your body can also go on your body. So it's cool to just kind of see the relationship there. And when it comes to cost, this is really an investment in yourself. Like buying fresh fruits and veggies, again, I really recommend going to a farmer's market. Sometimes people think that's a luxury, but it's actually less expensive than going to a grocery store. So you're getting higher quality food for less expensive. It's really a win-win. And even the esthetician fee, there was a $15 fee, right, for Beauty by Design. But number one, it's really worth it because you're investing your time and making sure that they know that you're really invested in the product. And you get that $15 credited back towards your product. So it's actually free. but it's almost just like a $15 commitment that you get back, right?
Yeah, we want to start a relationship with you. So, of course, with your very first purchase, even of one item that is recommended through your Skinscription, the esthetician relationship starts and it continues for free.
Right, exactly. If you guys have any questions on Beauty by Design, maybe leave them in the comments. We can get Karen to come on and answer some. If people have any specific questions, we will link below how to get there, the website, any other relevant links. Let me know if you have any other questions. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.